Welcome to John's Random Review. Hi, welcome to the Makita Milwaukee mashup, or John's attempt to make a Makita 12-volt tube cutter. So I've got the clamshell there, and as you can see, it's still got that Milwaukee emblem. It's in the plastic. It's actually moulded into the plastic. We'll have to get rid of that. With what, though? With what? With this. It's called a deberrer or something like that. And I got them in a set online. And they're absolutely fantastic. Really, really hard. You see, I've got 4 different heads. And they sit in the top of my toolbox. And they're brilliant. Anybody out there who wants a little bit of advice about having this good kit in the toolbox, get these. And what we're going to do there with this now is shave the Milwaukee badge off, I suppose it is. So we're going to attack that and shave it off. And hopefully we'll be able to turn it into, hopefully, maybe a Makita tool. I know it's only a bit of fun. You probably think I'm bloody crazy. You should watch some of my other videos and you'll see I am proper crazy. It's only a laugh really, but as you can see, the deberrer is getting rid of the Milwaukee. Look, it's done. Look at that, it's done. It's completely disappeared. And in a bit, I'll show you what I'm going to do. What couldn't go in that gap? Well, as you know, we've got a donor Makita drill, which I'm going to take to bits, and it's got a lovely Makita sign there. That's actually that white Makita bit is actually not painted. It's actually a different colour plastic. What if I cut that out and put that in that little square? That might work. So anyway, what's next? Oh yeah, we've got some new springs for the actual the jaws, if you like, on the go on the tube cutters. That it's the bit that gives the compression that cuts the copper pipe. So I've got these off Amazon, and what we're looking for is a slightly stiffer or tauter spring, so we can get it to cut the copper pipe quicker. And I think that one on the left, you can see it's slightly thicker, and hopefully that's going to push the cutting wheel onto the copper harder, so it cuts it quicker. So that's another thing we've got to do. We've got to put the new springs in the head, and we've got to clean all the head up and get it all greased up. So when we get it all back together, it will hopefully work better. Right, back on the clamshell. To adapt the Milwaukee tool to go onto Makita batteries, what we're going to have to do is cut. You can see where I've done that line. What we're going to do is cut that round. Now, I've been thinking about what to cut it with, but I think the best, I did think a hacksaw or something like that, but I think we're going to get the grinder, and hopefully it won't sort of melt the rubber over moulding. So what we're going to do is get the grinder going and cut. Well, we need to cut both of them. We need to cut a bit off that Makita one, and we need to cut the back end off the Milwaukee one. So let's get the old grinder, the old classic, I think this is called a Makita 452 or something like that. So let's go. You probably won't be able to hear me now. It's actually doing a very, very good cut. Smooth as silk. So let's get that cut off. I'll shut my mouth a minute and let you get on with it. Bloody hell, that's pretty straight for me. It needs a bit of tidying up, and it needs a little bit off the inside with the deberrer, and I think we'll get the other bit to fit. I'm chuffed with that. That looks very professional. So the next thing we need to do is have a bit of work on the donor drill. So I've got the clamshell apart. Remember, this was about 20 quid, so don't get all in stress about me cutting this one to bits. We're going to save all the bits. So we need to get all the gubbins, all the motor and the switch and everything out of it. All I need is the back bit. All I need is the back bit and the battery connector bit. So let's get all these bits out. And that's where the battery connects onto. You can see the black bit at the back. So let's get the light bit out. So that's separated. all the bits and bobs are out. I need that. I need a bit of that clamshell in a bit. But what we need to do now is cut them off, ready to go. The wiring to go back onto the Milwaukee switch. So we'll cut them, and then I'm going to do a little bit of soldering in a bit, and we'll get them onto the, when we build it up, onto the Milwaukee switch, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll work. So I'll just put that to one side, keeping that. And the clamshell, what we're going to do now is we're going to have to cut that actual battery connector bit off this. So we're going to have to get the grinder out again, and off we go. We're going to cut this. Same again, it worked really well with the grinder. Like I said, I've marked it with the old Sharpie on the, so I get a nice straight cut. So let's go for it. Let's cut this brand new drill to pieces. There we go, another straight cut. Bloody hell, I've got a steady hand. So I'll put them to one side. And this is the bottom end of the machine, that the battery goes onto. So we need to give that a bit of a tidy up. We might need to sort of grind that a little bit so it goes into the back of the Milwaukee tool. It needs a little bit of jiggery pokery, so I might have to just get the deburrer or a sanding pad to make sure that's going to fit in there. That needs to be a really snug fit, so it doesn't kind of it needs to look professional. Do you know what I mean? So I need to make it look in, so at the end of the day, so it looks like a Makita tool. Right then, we've done it. Well, I think that looks pretty bloody good. What I might do is get some black silicone and just run a little bit of a bead down the back. But hell, well, I know it's still red and blue, red and teal. We're going to spray that in another episode. But I think I'm chuffed to bits with that. So let's just see if we can, what it looks like. I know it's not wired up yet, but we'll see what it looks like with a 12-volt battery on it. Look at that, what a Bobby Dazzler. I think the job's going really, really well. So, what else have we got to do? Well, let's get into it. I'm chuffed to bits with that, I tell thee. So, remember me telling you about that Makita sign? We've got that bit of a, we're taking the Milwaukee one. Oh, it's absolutely, look at that, I've absolutely butchered the Milwaukee, the clamshell, and I've made that, so, what we're gonna, oh, that's going to sit in there. When it's all sprayed teal, that's going to look amazing. You probably think I'm absolutely insane, and you probably... Thanks for watching. Subscribe, unsubscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, tell me you love me, tell me you hate me, tell your friends and neighbours, tell that weird guy from across the street with the one-eyed dog, tell me anything, but most importantly, let's get involved.